Okay, let's just go through some examples on how to find the inverse itself. So remember our main idea. Main idea stays the same. Inputs and the outputs switch. Inputs and outputs switch. Alright, this is what's going to keep us alive here. So here, I have f of x equals 3x plus 2. Maybe a first step here is, I know we're going to love function notation in this class, but if we're going to switch the inputs and the outputs, it's going to be more convenient if there's not an x on both sides. So I'm going to write this as y equals 3x plus 2. Alright, so maybe my first step is just to change f of x into y, so that I'm not so confused with what that x and that x is. Right? And then I'm going to say, well, my main idea is that the inputs and outputs switch. Well, y is an output, x is an input, so I'm going to switch them. X equals 3, y plus 2. Alright, so I just switched. So here, maybe our first thing was f of x became y. Our second thing was we switched x with y. Our third thing is going to be to solve for y. So now I'm going to get y alone. So I'm going to start by just subtracting 2 over. So I'm going to get x minus 2 equals 3y. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So I'm going to get x minus 2 divided by 3 equals y. And then my last step, I've solved for y. My last step, step 4, is that y is going to become f inverse of x. I'm going to switch sides so it looks kind of like we normally write functions. F inverse of x is equal to x minus 2 divided by 3. And that's how we find an inverse function using rules here, right? We just follow our main idea. We switch x and y, we then solve for y, we then write it like a function. So let's do another quick example. We'll do a quick example and then like a slightly more complicated example. So here we have g of x equals 10x minus 3. So my first step is just going to be to use y instead of g of x, just so that when I switch it, it's not so complicated. And then I'm going to switch it to x equals 10y minus 3. I'm going to add y to both sides, just like I'm solving generally speaking. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 10. So I'm going to get x plus 3 divided by 10. Well, that's going to equal y. And then I'm going to switch to my function notation again. So I'm going to g inverse of x equaling x plus 3 over 10. Right? So let's move on to a slightly more complicated example, but you're going to see that it's really the same idea here. So h of x is equal to 3 over x plus 7. Right? So this is a rational function in this case. Right? And so what we want to do here is just do what we've been doing. Y equals 3 over x plus 7. Right? And then we want to switch x and y, so we can get x equals 3 over y plus 7. And now we want to solve for y. So here's the hardest part about this, is that my first move is I'm going to multiply x plus 7 on both sides. Or sorry, y plus 7 on both sides. So I'm going to multiply that side by y plus 7. I'm going to multiply this side by y plus 7. I'm just going to leave it in factored form here. Y plus 7x equals 3. Right, those cancel with each other, right? Y plus 7 divided by y plus 7 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this side by x on both sides, right, to get this x to divide that x and become 1. So I'm going to get y plus 7 equals 3 over x. And then I'm going to subtract 7. So I'm going to get y equals 3 over x minus 7. And then finally I'm going to switch back to function notation. So I'm going to go h inverse of x is equal to 3 over x minus 7. That's how you find an inverse. Oh my goodness, we can't read the bottom. So sorry about that. And that's how we're going to find an inverse here. Right? Is you're just going to switch to y, have x and y switch places, solve for y, and then write y as your inverse function. And those 4 steps stay the same no matter what type of function you have in the world.